Okay, we are live. Let's try this again. Okay. Let's start off. I want to say my name is Johnna. For anybody who's watching, I also go by Grace. Thank you so much. If you just saw our interruption, please, forgive us and come back in. So, you said you're in Manila, Philippines.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and you were just telling us that you were engaged. You just got engaged in November of last.
Yes.
Okay, how did that start off? How did you find or how did your husband or your soon-to-be husband find you?
We actually met via an online dating app.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so we met on OkCupid during the
Really?
pandemic. Yeah.
Also, okay, Cupid worked out for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
For you too, or for other people? Do you have
No, I'm
stories
just
with?
saying. I thought, like, I honestly thought, and see, that's why I guess you're removing the stigma.
Mhm.
Um, because I thought, okay, Cupid was just like, oh Lord, okay, Cupid now. So I didn't know that people were really having success stories from. I would
Yeah.
love to hear about it.
Yeah, so we met during the time of the pandemic, actually, which was a very weird time to find love, but here we
Yeah.
are. So I honestly, when I met him, when I swipe right on him, I wasn't really actively looking for a relationship. It was just because we were on lockdown, and might as well get to talk to someone online. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean, right? Um, but I have been on online dating for a few years, so I was like
Okay.
on and off the apps. You know how it is. Sometimes it's a good season for you to be on online dating, and sometimes it's just meh. It's a
Right,
crazy
right, right.
season, so you uninstall and then you install again.
Right, right,
So I
right.
was like, yeah,
I was just gonna say I didn't even know OK Cupid was in the Philippines.
oh
That's how small minded people can be, right? I didn't even know that was in the
yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah,
We'll
but it's
continue.
it's not one of the more popular ones, actually. So in the Philippines, it's more people are more into Tinder, Bumble, the
Okay.
newer ones, I guess. Because OKC has been around for quite some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like it because people, the profiles on OKC, you could like really write and be articulate about your introduction and all of that, which was the reason why I swipe right for my fiance. His name is Alex. And because he had a well written profile. And to me, that left the impression that, okay, this guy can communicate and it's
Right.
not something, I don't know, just from my circle, it's not something common, and I'm really looking for someone who could kind of like match my level of
Right. You could see that he
communication.
was kind of serious.
Yes, and that also left me the impression that he's smart, he's not afraid to express himself. And so I swiped right. And his introduction, it wasn't even just a hi, hello, or very boring introduction. His first line to me was, what makes you come alive and how do we do more of that? And I was like, okay, okay, hang on, let me let me
Okay, let me think about what was your answer.
yeah. So it was actually a pleasing question for me because I felt challenged, like, okay,
Yes.
let's get it on.
Right.
So I said, pursuing passion, bliss chasing, and human connection. So,
Okay.
I kind of like really tried my best to answer as well because I felt
Mm-hmm.
like he's looking for, a proper answer to that. And it turns out that that's how he quote unquote filters the women he talks
Okay.
online.
That's good. I
If,
like that.
if somebody can answer to that question, which is, a very,
It's
challenging question,
yeah.
then that person can carry a conversation. That's according to him. And I'm like, oh,
I wouldn't have told you that at first, but I see where he's going with that one. Yeah,
yeah.
what tell me what that question was again. I'm gonna write it down.
What makes you come alive, and
Okay.
how do we do more of that?
I like that. What makes you how do you do more of that? What makes you come alive
And
and
how do we do more of that? Yeah,
mm,
I would just say, just keep at it.
right.
So yeah, but that sparked a million conversations for us, and then we started talking, and the way we talk is really, I don't know, very elaborate because again, we were on
Mhm.
lockdown. There's really nothing to do.
Okay. And was this around this was in the beginning of 2020, right?
Yeah, so like we met around April, first week of April,
Oh,
I think.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily take that long when you know what you want. Yeah.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. It's not about the time. Just for I don't know if it's proper, but it's something that I share all the time. Before I met my fiance, I was in a relationship for 9 years.
Really?
Yeah, and we never got to a point where I was sure
Okay.
of my future with him. So I guess it's not really about the time that you spend with each
Okay.
other. I mean, it
Yeah.
is a factor,
It's a
but
factor.
there's more to that
Yeah.
than just the time you spend together.
Right. So the 9-year relationship, when did you where did you meet him? How old were you when you met him?
I was just very young. I was 19 back then.
Okay. Okay.
And so we were high school friends actually.
Okay. You
So
met in
we
high
went to the
school.
same school. We were from the same province, kind of like very traditional. And
Okay.
yeah, we were together for 9 years, and but it was just I just knew that it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay. Did you break it off?
Yeah, I was single for 2 years before I met my fiance. So I had a little bit of free
Okay.
time, really find
Mhm.
out what I wanted, find out
Mhm.
who I am outside of that 9 year
Mhm.
relationship.
That's good.
Yeah, and actually, online dating helped me out because
Okay.
being in a long term relationship, you don't
Yeah.
really know how to be out there again.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know how to do it. So online dating kind of really worked to my advantage because it kind of when you're there, you already know that you're potentially looking for a romantic
Yes.
thing, or I don't know, but that's for me. Like I'm
Understood.
there
Yeah.
because I'm looking for a potential romantic interest, and
Right.
so it kind of like fast forwarded everything to me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of men are on there to look for flings. A lot of women
Yeah,
are on there to look for sugar daddies. I mean, people are on there for a different, reasons. So when you
yeah.
broke up with your 9-year relationship, how did he
Mhm.
take it?
It was a long time coming. It wasn't like
Okay.
it was our first time to break up.
Oh,
We were
okay.
on and off pretty much. That's
Y'all
why
didn't
we
have
I
any children?
No,
Okay.
no. That's why I think we also both knew deep down that it wasn't really, it's just a
Okay.
matter of time before one of us really had like the courage to cut cut off everything,
Mhm.
Yeah, so but it was the single most valuable thing that happened in my life, I guess,
Yeah.
because there were a lot of lessons that came with that relationship.
Right. Right. Did you all own any property together within that time?
Yeah, good thing that we didn't. There were so
Right.
many plans, but
Mhm.
for some reason it never. We were supposed to start a business together. All our papers are complete, but then something came up, and so it wasn't approved. Stuff like that, and then just it never happened, and so it was just, I guess, not meant to be.
Right, I got you. Let's skip to how did your fiance propose to you?
It was actually a very intimate and normal day. It's not
Okay.
nothing grand, and up to this day, I
Mhm.
tease him about it.
Uh-huh.
I tease him about it because on the side, as a side hustle, I do weddings and events. And I was kind of,
Really?
yeah.
I do too. Are
Oh,
you like a
that's
planner
fun.
or are you an officiant?
Yes,
Okay,
I am a planner.
great.
Yes.
Wow.
Right?
Okay, yeah, continue.
And so I was teasing him about
Mhm.
it because I'm like, oh, that I plan weddings for a living, and then you're just gonna propose to me
Right, like
in a very simple. We were on. I remember it was I think there was a typhoon in Manila then, and
oh wow.
so it was very cold, puddle weather. We were just on our bed. It's a Sunday afternoon, I think.
Mhm.
We were just really, it's a lazy day for us. Nothing
Mhm.
special,
Mhm.
and he started talking about, our future together out of the blue. He was
Mm-hmm.
just saying, because we actually, me and Alex is a Filipino American, so we plan to
Okay.
go back to the U.S. Sometime
Okay.
this year, actually.
Okay. That means
So
he was born in America, right?
yeah, he was born
Okay.
in America, and so he was telling me that we were planning, all year we were planning to go back to the States and all of that, and he was like, yeah, so okay, so where do you see us having children? Do you see us having children in the States, or do you want to move elsewhere? So we started talking and planning about our future together, kids, career path, places we're gonna live. And I appreciated that. Like I had to pause for a bit because I was like, wow, look at this guy.
I know.
So ready to talk to me about our future together. Very solid in terms of leading our relationship, has
Yeah.
plans for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I paused and I thanked him. I was like, oh, thank you for, just looking out
Yeah.
for our future and really being certain about me that
Yeah.
I'll be in your life for the long term. And then he goes, "It's good that you feel that because I want this for the rest of my life." And then he popped the ring, and then and I was like, "What? What's happening?" Yeah, and I was like, I there was just that split second of transitioning from girlfriend to fiance, and I was like, oh
Right.
my gosh, that's crazy. But up to
Right.
this day, I tease him about it. My nails weren't done, my hair
Right.
wasn't done. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. Look, my husband tried that. I said, "Hold on, you got to get my nails done first."
I know. So we didn't take pictures that day. I told him, let's book a restaurant tomorrow night, and
Okay.
then so we kind of that's what we did. We booked a restaurant, had a fancy dinner, and then took pictures. And then
Right.
that's when we announced it. I was like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna
Okay.
announce it today.
Right. So did he give you a ring?
Yes, yeah,
Okay. All
yeah. And so I
right.
was like, it's something that is funny and at the same time very meaningful. Until this day, I tease him about it.
Ooh, it's breaking up a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
hello. Okay, there.
Okay, that's better. You said it's funny and what else?
It's funny and very intimate at the same time. The way he proposed to me.
Okay, yes. So let's get into how you became were you a speaker before? Are you a relationship coach? How did you get into the removing the stigma from online dating? Did it come
Yeah. So, me and Alex, we were both like trainers here in Manila. So he's a motivational speaker. I do speaking
Okay.
gigs as well, and I do training gigs as well. And so we were just getting to know each other. We would be on the phone for like 5 hours, and I would be. This is without meeting him. Yeah, because we had to be creative that
That's so
time.
true. Where was he in Manila as well?
He is in Manila, but we were in different cities and we can't really
Okay.
go out. So for a
Okay.
time, like for a few weeks, we had to be creative because nobody
Okay.
would. They put curfew on and they
Oh,
they didn't allow transport or cars to
okay.
go out. So for a time, like for a good 2-3 weeks, we were just on the phone, and then
Okay.
we were talking for like 5 hours straight.
Mhm.
And I was like, he sounds sexy over there. I was like,
Okay.
maybe we could start a podcast together because it had always
Really?
been a dream of mine, to start a podcast.
Wow.
I just didn't see it materializing or,
Okay.
becoming a reality. But I've always wanted it. And so I told him, hey, I think we should start a podcast together. And then he was
Really?
totally on board because he's a speaker as well to begin with. And I was like, and he was saying, so what do we talk about? And I was like, relationships, duh. Like,
Wow.
because it's the two of us, we should talk about relationships. And
Right.
then we geared to, talking about online dating because in Manila, or at least in the Philippines,
Mhm.
it's online dating is very common, but there's still a stigma around it that if you
Yeah.
find your partner on online dating,
Mhm.
it's not something that's real, I guess. For
Yeah.
some people it's very shallow, or it's a
Mhm.
fling, or they're just there for physical intimacy and all of that. But
Mhm.
the goal of our podcast is to really kind of like normalize that conversation around online dating, that love is love no matter where you met this person. When you know that it's love, you really know, right? You
Right,
can't deny
right.
it. So that's what we're doing. And in our podcast, so we started September of last year,
Okay.
and it's been going really well. We've grown a following. So our goal is to really get stories. That's why it's called
Right,
Stories After
yeah.
Swipe Right. So we
Uh-huh.
want to highlight stories, success stories about online dating, share, some nuggets about navigating relationships that you've, say, found online, or, how do you nurture, how do you take it to the next level after swiping right. So that's what we're trying to do in our podcast.
Right, and that's so interesting as you speak. I'm thinking about the person, the couple who I married, who they met on Tinder. So I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
so fun.
"Wow, yes." And he was just said
Yeah.
he said he's so glad. I remember this part. He was so glad that he swiped right. Or I'm not on Tinder, but whatever way that you swipe to accept the
Yeah, swipe
person.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's so glad to swipe right. So I was like, it was so sweet, but I was like, wow, an online dating success story. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
good. So how do you find your guest again?
Yeah, so the podcast goes through seasons, and we
Okay.
kind of highlight seasons in a relationship. So our season one, we started how to set up your online dating profile, the beginning stage,
Oh,
what makes you
okay.
swipe right. We even talked about like hookups, hookup culture in online
Okay.
dating,
Mhm.
conversations like this.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, so we talked about kind of like not encouraging, but maybe if you decide to be on an online dating app, we're here to empower you and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And then for season two, we talked about relationships. So now blossoming into, let's say, exclusively dating. So
Okay.
now you feel like there's certain connection between you and your match, and you
Mhm.
decided to go exclusive. How do you navigate that? When is the time to ask about exes, or is there even
Right.
a correct time for that, or baggages,
I have a
stuff like that.
question.
Yeah, sure.
So when is the appropriate time to get offline and meet in person?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I would really say there's no proper formula to it. There's no
Okay.
exact timeline. It depends on the connection that you've built. But generally, the pandemic, because we've
Mhm.
met through the pandemic, it's not like before that you
Mhm.
can just hi, hello, want to meet for coffee, and then you go meet for
Yeah,
coffee, right?
that's true.
Me and my fiance, we had to really spend some time to talk, get to know each other without meeting in person.
Right.
So I would say, if you're looking for something, let's say on a more serious side, if you're really looking to date,
Mhm.
it would be good to get to know someone on a good amount, good level before you
Right.
really take it offline. But I would say that, if you're just really looking to see the options out
Mhm.
there, kind of looking at for the network, if you're game for it, if you feel safe about meeting this person, go ahead and do that. But in my case, it was quite a
Yeah.
few weeks before I met him, and then
Right. I got
I
another
like the
question
winter.
after
Yeah,
you.
sure.
So say if you're really interested in someone and you guys have been talking all the time for like 3 months and one of the parties is ready to meet
Mm-hmm.
and the other person keeps on making up excuses about, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
when they don't want to meet because of some X, Y, and Z, and then
Mm-hmm.
the person, when is the appropriate time to ask yourself this question? Am I getting catfished? Like,
Yeah, that's actually a great question, and it's very common, on online dating. I would say that if red flags are there, they're there
hmm
for a reason.
yeah,
Don't deny yourself of the red flags that you see, because it's gonna cost you along the way. Um, I would say, and again, this is just speaking
right.
from my experience. I would say, let's say we set up a date and
Mhm.
he flaked on me. I'd forgive once, maybe even twice if I really like the person.
Yeah.
But after that, I'd really just,
Yeah.
tell them that I don't think we're looking for the same thing, or I don't think we're
Yeah.
connecting on the same level. So, it's been great knowing you, but bye bye.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Just get straight to the point.
Yeah, why
And
waste your
right.
time,
Right.
right?
This is really great conversation because I'm actually asking for other people.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
am. And one before I let you go, um, um, when is it appropriate to I guess introduce your family to
Ah,
someone who and you haven't met in person yet. Maybe if you guys were just video chatting, but
mhm,
you still felt like you were very serious about each
mhm.
other. When's the appropriate time to introduce your family?
I think because it also there's also like a certain culture factor to it,
Okay.
because some culture would be more chill about it, so to speak. But for example, for us, at least in the Philippines, we're it's a big deal to
Okay.
have somebody meet your family.
Okay.
So I would say, until you're sure that this is something that you want to introduce to your family, or someone that you want to introduce to your family, if that's their culture, like their
Yeah.
family values are like that only have them meet because if it's serious, because
Yeah.
they get involved in the circle very
Okay.
well, right?
Mhm.
But if your family isn't like that they're very cool, they just meet a lot of people
Yeah.
from that you date, then I
Right.
guess it's okay. But at the end of the day, to me personally, it means so much if I
Mhm.
introduce someone to my family, especially to my mom, because my mom,
Mhm.
every time I'm heartbroken, she cries with me. Every
Mhm.
time I meet a person, she celebrates with me. So I value that, because I don't
Right.
want her to kind of like get invested in the relationship
Yeah,
if
right.
I'm not invested in the
Exactly.
relationship, right?
Right. And I mean, these are really I have so many more questions about this online dating. Cuz of course, I mean, I'm married, but I tried it and it failed plenty of many times. So I definitely think these are conversations that people need to hear. Where can people
Yeah.
find you at? I know you do a podcast. Where is it at? I want to kind of try to put it in the comments.
Yeah, so we are on Spotify. The
Okay.
podcast is called Stories After Swipe Right. On Facebook and Instagram, we are the same, at Stories After Swipe Right. You can also check out our landing page. It's podcast.storiesafterswiperight.com.
Okay, let me just put the
Yeah.
every time I try to put this in here, it messes up. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Maybe
put
I could drop it too.
yeah, you should
Yeah.
drop it as well. And I
Mhm.
thank you so
Yeah.
much, Em, for just
Thank
sharing your
you.
success story. I definitely believe many people need to hear more stories about that so they can be encouraged to meet people. You know,
That's
especially
true.
women who want, they're praying to God, find me, send me somebody. Try online
Yeah,
dating. It's okay. Don't
that's
feel
true.
bad. Don't feel ashamed. So I really,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the stigma, right? People feeling ashamed about it,
Yeah,
right?
just and just ready yourself as well when you're on that world, the online dating world. Just ready yourself for anything. Look out for yourself. Be open, and it's a colorful world out there, and you'll never know what you'll find, right?
Right. You're so sweet. I love your personality. Is there anything that you want to share with everyone before we leave?
I think that's it. Just we're on Spotify. Hope you guys can follow us. And I think that the online dating world is a wonderful place to explore. It's not that I'm encouraging anyone, but hey, I got engaged.
Right. But anyway, thank you
Thank
everyone for
you.
watching and whoever watches the replay. You make sure you get in contact with and
Yeah.
we will see you on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Absolutely.